You move like a man who's just made a movie called The Valachi Papers. For some reason, I don't know.
A man that's got something caught between his legs, eh?
What does that mean?
Well, that's what it's been described
Oh,
as.
it's a European expression, meaning, well, I'll just move right on. Yes, people do tend to describe your actions on the screen, often in animal-like terms.
When I was a teenager, it was made fun of. They thought that, you know, I was walking on my toes, which I knew a kid that did walk on his toes, but he bent his knuckles like that when he walked on his toes, you know.
How's that?
I just walk. I mean, it doesn't... I don't know. I saw you describe somebody's walk the other night, and you were all wrong. Who was it now?
Norman Mailer.
Norman Mailer.
I was wrong about his walk?
Yeah, you said he walked like this, but he doesn't. He walks like this.
Well, you're wrong, but I'm not going to be the one to tell you. No, I didn't. I said his arms go like this when he walks.
No, they were closer to his body.
You're right. That was it.
I watched him walk out of it.
You're right. They are close to his body. I had it wrong.
You two could get yourselves arrested, you know, doing this.
Well, you two could. You embraced when you came out.
All the scenes he and I had together in The Great Escape were in a tunnel, you know?
That's right. You were very close in that movie. I remember you in that tunnel.
Very close. That tunnel was so bloody small.
And you had claustrophobia. Do you actually have claustrophobia?
I get feelings of claustrophobia. I used to work in a coal mine and I'd get it.
I know.
You know,
Pennsylvania?
panic every day, yeah.
Yeah.
And being in that tunnel, it brought it all back, you see. So it was very easy for me to do the scene.
It was very convincing, that thing. I didn't realize it in your real life. At that time, I've read since that you spent some time in the mines. Wasn't your dad in the mine?
My father was a coal miner. All my brothers were coal miners, including myself. And I resent Winston having problems with coal miners in Wales.
No one could have problems with coal miners.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
Everybody has problems with coal miners. They were on strike when we were in a war, if you remember.
The coal miners?
Sure.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah. National defense, anyhow, just before the war began.
Yeah.
I was involved in it, I know.
You never know how much you read about a star is true, but I do remember an article about you in a magazine which said that really, your childhood sounded so dismal, and it said that you used to beat your fists against the wall of the mines, realizing what a depressing, hopeless
Oh, I wasn't the only one. There were some
had.
miners who would bite rails. They were so angry, you know.
Yeah.
They would bite rails and swing shovels and picks and
Just
hit
at
each
the
other. Yeah.
hopelessness of the life they led?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the anger, you know. Because it's all piecework. You got paid for the tons of coal that you loaded. And if it wasn't coming easy and you had too much rock and that sort of thing, it's a frustrating job. When you have a family to support, it's very tough.
Were they aware of black lung disease in those days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my lungs are probably black, brown, green, everything, you know.
How many years were you in the mine?
5 and a half.
And did you develop the claustrophobia there, or did you have it before you ever went?
No, I had it long before, long before.
How do you stand it then? How do you deal with it?
I don't know. You just do. You know, you have to do something, you do it. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You stand it.
Have you ever been back down a mine since
No.
It's so far, seems so far away?
You know, I've been in gold mines,
Yeah.
visiting, just visiting and looking, you know.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get me back in a mine ever, not anymore.
Yeah. Do you still have relatives who live back in that area?
Yes, I have some live back there. They don't work in a coal mine anymore. But most of my family is scattered all over the world.
You know, some people think you're part Indian because you're so convincing as an Indian well, you're convincing as everything you are. Later you'll be convincing as a Mongol or whatever you happen to be doing.
That's what I am. It's the Mongolian blood. You know, the Indians and the Mongols are supposed to be related.
Uh-huh.
They did come over to America from land that connected Siberia with Alaska.
Bering Straits, yeah.
Down to the Bering Strait, yeah.
So you have Mongolian blood?
Yeah, my daughter has a Mongolian mark on her backside.
Really?
There were some pediatricians, they kept seeing this appear. It's a blue birthmark.
Yeah.
And they couldn't figure out why, you know, some babies had it and some babies didn't. And they traced it to Genghis Khan. It's a Mongolian spot, they call it.
Does that indicate that your daughter is a direct descendant of Mongolian royalty, and in fact, possibly Genghis Khan?
Yeah.
Gee.
This is what he says.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder if she's in the will.
You want her to take all of Europe.
You might look back, yes. They may owe her a country or two.
Yeah.
Well, it's a strange leap for you then to Valachi from all of that. Do you hear from people who are alive and connected with the cases, the various, you know what I mean, the Valachi incidents and all?
Oh, yeah, we were shooting in the Bronx, and I'd have knocks on the dressing room door. The guy would come, stick his head in, and he would say, hey, you know, I knew Cargo, Joe Cargo. I said, who? Joe Cargo. Then I remember he used to be called Cargo. They'd call him Cargo. Yeah. And I'd say, yeah, well, come on in. Invite him in. He'd talk a little while, but you find out he doesn't know anything anyhow, only what he read. He really knew him, but not well. And I was trying to seek information because he had plenty of information about Winston Churchill, you know.
Yeah.
But Valachi, there wasn't that much, except that you found in the Valachi Papers and in the book.
Did you ever get a satisfactory answer why he decided to take the tremendous risk of being a gangland informer?
Well, when you consider Joe Valachi being raised in the Bronx during the Depression days, even before that, but he was a young man during the Depression. He had two brothers that were in a mental institution. He loved his sister, and she died at a very young age, and he made a coffin for her out of orange crates. I mean, this is the kind of poverty he lived in, you see, and buried her himself. And he grew up this way, and he made a choice. He chose a profession. He knew that he had to accept, you know, then the penalties that profession paid. To him, he was being a soldier. At that time, he wasn't fighting society as such. He was fighting other gangs. And it was like a war. This is all he was. He was a soldier. And in this picture, this is how I play him. He was a follower and not a leader.
You know, I just realized at this moment I'm completely ignorant of what became of Valachi. He's no longer alive, is he?
No.
He was...
No, he died about 1969, 66.
I don't know why I'm not aware of that. I'm aware of when he was singing, as they used to say in the underworld.
Talking about Joe Valachi, thinking he was alive? No.
No?
His wife is alive. He has a
you
son.
was frightening enough. I don't need to...
His wife is still alive, and so is his son.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are there people unhappy about the film being made at all, or is that past?
No, they're very unhappy. We've had to change. Yes, we've had to change names.
Yeah.
Even some places, the names of some places, because there have been threats. There have been threats of lawsuit as well, you know, from the innocent who had been involved. And Dino De Laurentiis, who produced the picture, told me he had received a letter from, you know, a high mafia leader in this city to watch it. Also, Dino De Laurentiis got permission from a high mafia leader in this city to work in this city on the Valachi Papers.
That's interesting. Is that how you get permission to work here?
When you do anything about the mafia, you got to have permission. You got to have permission up to a point. Not really permission, but it's safer to have one.
Yeah. You've had a tough life. I read quite a bit about you, and do you have any scars anywhere? Have you been maimed in the years that you've bummed, as they say, bummed around?
This isn't always what makes a life tough. I saw that film clip of Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
Now, there was a boy living a tough life.
Even though he had a great deal
No
of money.
scars, nothing, but they're there, you know.
Yeah.
That's a tough life as well.
Yes, you can have a privileged tough life and a unprivileged tough life. But yours was certainly not a wealthy one by any means. Have you been battered up then? I mean, do you actually bear any physical wounds?
A few, yeah.
Yeah. Love to know what they are. What my chances are of finding out, I don't know at this moment.
When I was a kid, I used to ride freight trains. And in my hometown, a few other boys and myself, we robbed the company store. Took a freight train, and we got caught about 300 miles away, and I was shot off a boxcar. But it was
Shot or shoved?
shot.
Shot off a boxcar.
And I have that one. It's right here, that wound. And I have many others, of course, but they're not that much. Not that much to talk about.
How were you shot off a boxcar?
Well,
railroad police?
A railroad policeman, detective. In those days, they received $2 for every man they caught in the freight yards. And the justice of the peace would receive $2 for sentencing. It was that kind of thing.
That's sort of a bounty.
He said he fired to get us to stop. He didn't mean to hit me. And it wasn't much because the bullet just fell right out after a little while. I mean, nobody had to pull it out. It was stuffed here, and it was a handgun, and it wasn't that powerful.
Did you think you were finished when it happened, though?
No, I didn't think I was finished. One of the boys, of course, I thought he was finished because we were riding on the bumper of the freight train like this, and he had his feet up on the bumper of the other car. And as the back shifter pushed, the cars would come together like that. As we were going like that, his leg straightened out, and the back shifter pushed this part of his leg up into here.
Oh.
You know. So this is why we had trouble getting off the boxcar before the guy could catch us.
That would slow you up.
He slowed us up.
Hopping a freight always seemed so romantic as a kid, and I know my grandfather used to do it, and I have an uncle who used to ride what they call blind baggage. Do you know what blind baggage is from hooking? And but every third person you hear of doing it either actually had leg cut off or fell between cars or something. So
it's a risky
not
thing.
A good idea, boys and girls. What we're saying.
We used to jump on freights from standing on a bridge that went over a river and a railroad track. We would stand up there and wait for those cars to go by and just time them and jump off like that about 30 feet before we hit the freight train. And we'd jump into coal freights, that sort of thing.
Jump into a coal car?
Yeah. So it was soft
wait a
landing.
minute, if a train is moving and you hit it, you're going to go right on the back of your head.
No, not the way we jump. But that's the way you jump.
Right. Right, a guy who does Mailer's Walk wrong would.